What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to the first episode of this freaking show for 2020. It's been quite a while there, Cartoon Joe.
It has. Been a nice Christmas and all the other winter holidays break.
Yeah, it's almost like we went into hibernation for like a nice, almost 6 weeks now.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. A lot has happened since we've last came on the show and talked with each other. I mean, we've seen each other, in between, but it's been a while since our listeners heard from us, our fans, if you will.
That's true.
Yeah, so guys, welcome back to 2020 here with this freaking show. And if you guys forgot, this episode of this freaking show is brought to you by Audible.com. If you're just like me and you're a huge fan of stories and history, just not a really big fan of hearing them, reading them yourself, Audible.com is the best place for you to go. It's a one-stop shop for all audiobooks that are available to you. And if you sign up today at audibletrial.com/freaknet today, you can get a 30-day free trial of Audible. And on top of that 30-day free trial, you also get a credit to your first book purchase at Audible. All you gotta do is go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today and get all the free goodies that Audible has to offer right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And, 2020 is, it started out a little bit rough because, obviously we gain a whole new year of, adventures and excitement and things to help build the podcast as a whole, but it also comes with some loss here. I don't like keep wanting to call you Jay. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
It's like,
because of Dizzle J?
Well, I know I call Dizzle J on JFW, but for some reason, I feel like I just, either I have to call you Jay or Cartoon Joe. I don't know why I feel like I know I don't need to do. I could easily just call you Joe.
True.
Bro.
I don't know.
There's so much. I could call you CJ.
Right.
There's so much, but
confuse me with our second most popular guest.
That's true. He actually reached out to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You told me about this.
Yeah, he sent me over an email and, some stuff some new projects, that he has going on that he wants to come back on the show. So we're going to touch base with him, probably more close to springtime and stuff like that as we kind of get back into the groove of everything. We do have a couple guests kind of lined up, a lot of cosplayers that we want to get onto the show before C2E2 hits at the end of February. If you guys remember Epidemic, from season 1, I believe, we're going to have this, lead singer from Epidemic come on the show. We were supposed to do, an interview with them about a week ago, but it fell through just because the lead singer, Cody, Epidemic isn't just his first project now. I believe he has 3 or 4 different projects he has going on. So, to find the time to get him on and for us to, be able to collaborate and sit down and talk about everything, it is a little bit trickier than we expected, but hopefully that's going to happen here in the next week or two. So CJ is definitely going to be back on here shortly, so we can talk with them. But, to talk about loss, really briefly is, if you guys haven't noticed, there is no Deputize anymore. There is no, this episode is also brought to you by WeAreDeputize.com.
Correct. No more high quality knit ties. No more low price of just $15 and free shipping.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I did go in and I had to update our website and everything, thisfreakinshow.com. Make sure everything was up to date on there because it's been a while since I kind of touched base with it because there's really not much we do on there unless we have guests come on. But I wanted to kind of update it, make it look a little bit nicer, especially since JFW released a new logo for that podcast. I was like, you know what, since I'm updating JFW, and since I'm kind of building the website for Freaknet Studios, which we can talk about here in a minute as well, I figured, I gotta update this freaking show because the last time I updated it is right around the time we came back, the show came back from hiatus.
Right.
And where at that point you weren't coming back, Colin wasn't coming back, it was just me. So I kind of updated everything on an endpoint in the About Us section and stuff like that. So I'd update that because you came back. Colin's still not here. Left him in 2019.
Yep.
So but I feel like, what, I gotta double check with WeAreDeputize.com because we never really touched base with them too much. As much as we did when we were sponsored by Fire Pit, and where we were now sponsored by Audible. I was like, I really should probably touch base with WeAreDeputize and see how the promotion is going and how everything's going over on that end. And come to find out that they decided at the beginning of the year, they decided to close the doors on Weird Advertise to pursue other interests in their personal lives.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So it's nothing we did on our end. So I don't want you to think we're losing sponsorships because of what we did. No, it's just, I guess, different ventures.
The way the world works.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep. So right now we are solely sponsored by Audible. So guys, help out the podcast and go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today. And who knows, maybe we'll pick up another sponsorship or something along the way here. I mean, that is the goal overall, is to find companies that will collaborate with us and believe in us as much as we believe in their product. Like, I don't know, maybe Contigo.
Right?
Right? I said I'd love to be sponsored by Skype, but I want to be sponsored by something I love.
Nailed it.
This fucking devil tool. God dang it.
It is the worst. Absolute worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Joe, we're going to bring back, That Freakin' Happened, which is our shout out to what happened, this week in history. We're going to do that here in a little bit as well. And I kind of want to talk about some of the things that have happened, since we've been gone. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about what we did during Christmas and, New Year's Eve break and stuff like that. I do want to hear a little bit about your adventure you took with, Carl, through, as you guys drove, across America, if you will, in your own way. Talk about World War III, because apparently we fucking missed that boat.
No kidding.
I know, right? Who would have thought? You know, we fucking leave, fucking World War III happens, and by the time we come back, it's, you know, it's just like, okay, done.
Right. Moved on. Jesus.
Exactly. Apparently, Dating Time is gone. Fox is changing their name and shit like that. But before we do any of that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Freakin' Studios. And you guys know, we've mentioned it before. You guys kind of have an idea of what it is. It's a network that is built between 3 different podcasts. This Freakin' Show being one of them, as well as Just Freakin' Wrestling, I host with Dizzle J, as well as The Gray Area, hosted by Sarge. And we're going to start putting together YouTube videos. The goal is 2020 is here we are in this year. We're going to start putting out video content of some stuff we're going to do. Hopefully doing that shortly here. JFW started launching their podcast on video as well. So it's kind of a cool thing to do because I'm not so much editing out a lot of the video content for the podcast wise over at JFW. So it's kind of helped me practice on how to do some editing here and stuff like that.
Always.
Yeah, but Freaknet Studios should start launching videos soon. I know, Sarge kind of mentioned a little bit on his last episode about how, he feels that we need to get off our ass and do some stuff. Which is a difference in how he said it and how I said it when I referred to as we need to get off their asses, which he used the strong word they need to get off their asses. So, I don't know if he's thrown himself into they part of that, but either way, we are going to get off our ass and do it down here, get this stuff done eventually. YouTube content and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that and everything, and check out Freaknet Studios. We're also on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Freaknet Studios. So follow that, keep updated, because that's when you know when the podcasts are being released, and we just share some little odds and ends here along the way too. So, yeah. All right, Joe. You want to talk a little bit about what's been going on in 2020, or do you want to get That Freakin' Happened out of the way first?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm up for whichever.
Right. Well, thank you, Joe. And that's why I like you. You know, you're really up for anything.
I go with the flow, man.
Right.
I go with the flow. Right. That's how I wind up flying to North Carolina, driving back.
Right.
But we'll get back. We'll get to that later.
Perfect. All right. I guess we could do That Freakin' Happened. Where we talk about something happened this week in history, obviously. Joe, I'm more than fine going first if you want me to, and then you
sounds good.
Excellent.
Perfect.
So on January 26, 1784, Benjamin Franklin writes a letter to his daughter expressing his disapproval for the eagle as our national symbol. He thought the bald eagle was of bad moral character and found the turkey to be more of a respectable bird.
So, I've heard that before, but I hadn't heard that it was because he thought bad moral character. was the issue.
Yeah, I have heard a rumor. I'm not really sure if this was ever discussed in history classes in school stuff, but somebody once said that the national bird was almost a turkey. There's a little part of the letter here that he did write, and I quote, "For my own part, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen the representative of our country. He is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. You may have seen him perched on some dead tree near the river, where too lazy to fish for himself. He watches the labor of the fishing hawk. And when that diligent bird has at length taken a fish and is bearing it to his nest for the support of his mate and young ones, the bald eagle pursues him and takes it from him. With all the injustice, he is never in good case, but like those among men who live by sharpening and robbing, he is generally poor and often very lousy. Besides, he is a rank coward. The little king bird, not bigger than a sparrow, attacks him boldly, and he drives him out of the district. He is therefore by no means a proper emblem for the brave and honest Cincinnati of America, who have driven all the kingbirds from our country."
That is amazing.
I think you got the bald eagle mixed up with vulture.
Right?
Because I have seen a lot of movies with birds and dead trees, and never once did I see a fucking bald eagle. Crows, vultures. But obviously he was not happy with the bald eagle, and clearly no one gave a shit.
Yeah, right?
But, I admire him, though, for being like one of the founders of the country and everything. He stood his ground regardless of how he felt.
That is true.
So, bravo to Ben Franklin for his belief, and way to vent to your daughter who probably didn't give a shit either.
Yeah, right? Yeah, why would she care? I don't know. That's weird. They didn't have TV back then, though, or Netflix. So, this was probably the most interesting thing that was going on.
Right, and I don't know the distance and travel between him and his daughter, so I don't know how long that fucking letter got to him. Because, clearly they didn't have text messaging or phone calls back in the day, so he probably had to stew on the idea of what is she going to say back to this for probably a good month.
Yeah, that's a solid point. I hadn't thought about that.
Right? He's probably just sitting in his ride chair. Oh my gosh, she's going to fucking love this.
It's just fucking seething. Just waiting.
Right? It's like a Facebook post that you're waiting for someone to reply to and you get no response from. Or you have an Android, don't you?
I do have an Android.
So it's like those fuckers with iPhones who see the little 3 dots at the bottom of the text and then it goes away with no response.
Right?
Right?
That's the worst.
Right? Woo! She could easily lie and say, "But father, I never received your letter."
Right?
Can't say she's wrong.
New post, 2 discs.
What about you, Joe? What you got for, what freaking happened this week in history?
This week in 1956, Elvis Presley appeared on television for the first time.
Oh, nice.
It was actually today, so, January 27th. No, actually tomorrow, January 28th. Sorry. The young country rock singer Elvis Presley made his first ever television appearance on, this just says television. That doesn't seem right. In the musical variety program Stage Show, singing Heartbreak Hotel. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, I was, you ever go on YouTube and watch those videos about, epic rap battles?
I do, every once in a while.
I watched,
it's been a long time.
I watched one today. I guess it got released, like 7 years ago or some shit like that. They're still putting them out, though. I think this one was from like 7 years or some shit. They did Michael Jackson versus Elvis rap battle. And it's ironic that you did the Elvis one because I was about to do the Michael Jackson one where he set his hair on fire.
No kidding.
Yeah, so there's something about this time of year that comes to Elvis and the fucking King of Pop. And I know it was a while ago. I think it had been before Michael died. Because in the rap, Michael was bashing Elvis for dying from taking pills.
Oh no.
So I'm pretty sure this thing came out before Michael Jackson died from arguably probably the same thing Elvis did.
Yikes.
Woo. Yeah.
Live hard, you know?
Yeah. Perfect segue, though. Speaking of dead celebrities, Kobe Bryant died this week.
He did. That was crazy.
Right? And I hear, there's, I don't think it's a lawsuit, but, there's something the cops are doing against TMZ for reporting the incident before they can notify his family.
Yeah, I heard about that. It broke on TMZ faster than they could find the family, from what I understand. They were still trying to gather information and, you know, and it's not even just Bryant's family, but like, there were 7 other people in the plane. Or
Yeah, it was
helicopter.
Yeah, it was Kobe Bryant and his daughter. I can't remember his daughter's name. I want to say it was like Ellie or something like that.
I think it's with a G. Gianna,
13 years old. There was also, I think there was obviously, I think the pilot and 6 other people and a lot of relatives to each other and stuff like that. I didn't really dive too much into the story of it. I remember seeing it on Facebook on Sunday before I went into work. Obviously, it was on the news while I was at work, but with the jam bands playing and everything, you can't really listen to the news, and there's so much trying to get everything else done. I never sat down and read what exactly happened and where they're off to, where they're coming from and stuff like that. You just hear that Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident, daughter with him and stuff like that. And it's a weird thing to hear other people's like responses to it, and it's not so much on social media. It's a lot on your people locally. And you know Pieton. Pieton's a nice place, and I would never, tell anybody not to live here. But there are certain people that live in this town who are kind of set in a weird fucking way of life. Most of the people know about Kobe Bryant and his history with some allegations that happened at a hotel room with a female and shit like that.
Yep.
So there are people who believe because that happened, him dying is nothing we should mourn, is nothing that should be in remembrance of and shit like that he's a piece of shit and he deserved to fucking die. I disagree with that 100%. Again, I'm not a huge basketball fan. I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan. But for somebody to lose their life that way, not only Kobe Bryant being a celebrity, but also his daughter and all the other people who don't really get the attention Kobe does on the helicopter, regardless of what happened in the past and stuff like that, without knowing the full story, I guess I can't really defend him or, anything like that. And I'm not going to because I don't know the story and I don't know how much of that really dives into the man himself. But for someone to fucking say, well, he's a piece of shit, he deserves to die, it's not really a right thing that you should say in that moment.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of, you can debate, someone's life, but wait like 5 minutes, man. The family is grieving. If you don't feel bad for him, which is totally understandable, feel bad for his wife who lost a husband and a daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the big, I guess, the silver lining to this guy talking, that it's just verbally from me to him across the bar. It's not going on social media and, tearing him apart and what his family could see and shit like that. So luckily for that, he's older to where social media is kind of a foreign thing to him. Mm-hmm. But it's still one of the things where, first off, I don't need to hear your opinion on somebody and like all this other shit that he may or may not have done a decade ago and shit like that. Again, I don't know the story about it because being a non-basketball fan, it's not something I really dive into.
Right.
But regardless of what he did then, it's who he is now and it's who he was with. And that's what the tragedy is. And yes, there should be a mourning period for it. And there's still a lot of people who go out there and say, he is the greatest basketball player in the world. And that may be so, compared to LeBron James or Michael Jackson. I think actually LeBron James broke one of Kobe Bryant's records over this past weekend, too. And,
insult injury. No, I'm just kidding.
It's one of the things I think somebody mentioned to me is like, I think he caused the accident. I'm like, well, why? It's like, well, you heard that, fucking, LeBron James broke one of his records, right? I'm like, oh god, you son of a bitch, not right now. Too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah.
But but it's one of those things like, definitely prayers to the family for everybody on the helicopter, not just Kobe Bryant, but to everybody on the helicopter, because every life has value regardless of how many baskets you made and how much money you seem to be put away. And again, whatever you did in your past is what it is, and you should never belittle somebody based on what you hear from that.
Right.
So, unless you're Epstein.
Right. Yeah. You know, and I also throw out there, you know, if you actually cared about the victims of, you know, let's say the allegations were true or whatever, maybe don't participate in continuing to talk about it then. Just shut up. Don't remember them at all. You know, one way or the other is kind of how I feel.
Yeah. Well, and I think that advice goes for a lot of things outside of that too. It's like, I don't know if you ever I don't know if you had an interest in it, but the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix dropped. Did you get a chance to maybe watch that or had any interest in it?
I'd never heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
Aaron Hernandez was a tight end, football player for the New England Patriots who got accused of murder. Got put in jail and stuff like that, ended up killing himself.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. I recommend watching the documentary. I think it's very interesting to hear like some of the stories that people don't know about it. And one of the biggest controversies that came from that documentary is people coming out saying that he was either gay and hiding it or he was bisexual.
Oh,
again, I don't think I don't think anyone ever termed it as what it really was. I think it was like up to interpretation, but obviously he had a girlfriend, they had a kid together. But there was also one of his buddies who said that, you know, when they were younger, they used to get high and mess around with each other and stuff like that. And he had to be very quiet about it because the idea of him being that way is not okay with his dad, who eventually passed away, and not okay with his former football player teammates. So a lot of controversy came out of that documentary about, you know, knowing this thug-like badass who came up from like a rough area, got into the NFL, made a shit ton of fucking money, ended up being gay. And there was a lot of controversies in that. And because of that, there's been a lot of memes that came out and talking about how, like, you know, women want all badasses and shit like that, but, you know, he sucks dick. It seems to be one of the biggest fucking memes that came out of this Netflix documentary.
So weird. Never heard of it.
Yeah. I recommend watching it. Even if you're not a football fan or an Aaron Hernandez fan, I mean, just hearing the story about it, it's very interesting because they do a lot of comparisons to the O.J. Simpson time.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So it was pretty cool, but it's just like one of the things too. It's like, you know, people sit there and they appreciate the work that people do, like on like the basketball court, the football field and shit like that, but you know, you have to decide one way or another. Like, do you still want to be a fan of his regardless of the allegations, or do you want to just like, oh, well, this is new, well, fuck him then.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
I think the really weird thing is, like, what difference does it make? If he was a good athlete. Like, I just don't get it.
No.
I don't know. Also, like, none of my business either. Like, I really couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. You know, it's like when people want to have conversations about, you know, like what they believe is right, what they believe is wrong, you know, whether it comes from a political aspect or, you know, what's the proper way to say it? Sexual preference?
Yeah, sure. That works.
Okay. It doesn't affect me at the end of the day. So I don't have a thought or any input on it.
Right.
I think it was like the same conversation I had when we were on that camping trip and we talked about abortion for a brief period.
Right.
Yeah. And I could have any opinion I want, but by the end of the day, it's not my decision, and, you know, it is what it is. If somebody goes off and decides to make that decision for themselves, that's not me. I don't have to go through that, you know, and it's not that I'm not saying, like, you know, if I get somebody pregnant and they go off, it's just in general. If somebody out there, you know, like a friend you went to school with or a coworker, you know, a relative or someone, they go through this situation, who am I to sit there and make them feel worse about the decision they have to make? You know, it's
right.
And people sit there and they feel they have to do that, you know, and tell someone like, oh, well, if you're doing that, you're going to go straight to hell. You're a piece of shit and everything. And, you know, first off, it's none of their fucking business. And for anyone to sit there and tell a teenager who accidentally got pregnant that they're the worst person in the fucking world because they're making this decision is fucked up 100%, because that person is going to go through some hard fucking times to even begin with, and they don't need some outsider who they may or may not know tell them that their decision's wrong.
Absolutely agree with you.
And I think it's beyond, I mean, it's not even abortion, it's beyond everything else. I mean, and one of the biggest things, obviously, is political views, between Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals and stuff like that. It's like, I don't give a fuck what fucking Hillary says about one person or what Trump says about another or what Pelosi says about another. It all depends on what they do politically to benefit the country. It's like, I don't care if fucking Trump talked about someone's vagina. I mean, yeah, fucking inappropriate. Anyone will sit there and tell you that. I don't give a fuck. It's not going to affect me. I just need to know what his fucking plan is to help me get more money at tax time. But, anyways, thoughts and prayers to Kobe Bryant's family and everyone else on the helicopter. I guess to sum it up right there.
Yeah, that's a good summary.
Yeah.
Good convo. I like that. That was good.
Yeah. So World War III happened, Joe.
Yeah.
World War III.
Came damn close anyway.
Woo! I did not think that I was going to live in a world where there were draft fears happening through fucking social media.
Right?
The idea that fucking bombings happened between Iran and America, and before anyone said anything about people dying, their first thought was, holy shit, is the draft coming back?
Right? Well, there's been enlistment is historically low. It's just about the lowest it's ever been, for the military.
I believe it. And I wish kind of Colin was here to kind of explain, his situation through it, because I know there was a time that, and this was probably 2012, 2013, whatever, where they're offering military, soldiers and stuff like that, or people enlisted in the military, an opportunity to leave early. You can early release from active duty and stuff like that.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know how much that's going on now and everything. Like, I don't know if maybe, like, is it possible that enlisting is so low right now because they have so many people already in it?
Could be.
Right? But the point is, and the point I want to try to make, is that more people are focused on what was going to happen to them before they realize what happened to others. That's the one thing I never understood. It's like, I don't think drafting was going to fucking happen. Like, all of a sudden, shit happens, and they're like, holy shit, you remember what happened last time? I'm like, well, fucking last time was almost like, what, 90 fucking years ago?
Yeah, like 60, 70 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like let's ease up on the minute and talk about drafting and all that shit. Let's think about it for a minute. Like, the last time they had a fucking draft, we had polio.
Also, like, one of the reasons Vietnam went so poorly was because of the draft.
Yeah.
Because, like, it turns out people who don't want to fight suck at it.
Yeah, well, instead of fucking going over there with fucking guns and fucking tanks and shit, they brought barbecues.
Right.
It's like they went over there like a big goddamn party. I saw Forrest Gump. I know how that shit works. That's right. I didn't listen to shit. Funny. I didn't listen to shit in U.S. history in high school, but when it came to Forrest Gump.
Great movie. Yeah.
Right? Hell yeah. It taught me about Kennedy getting shot, talked about his brother getting fucking shot, talked about fucking Nixon and Watergate, talked about Vietnam. Fuck, hell yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's why we learned we're college champions, went to go visit the president. Fuck yeah. God, that's the place where I know weirdos like Forrest Gump can still have somebody someday. That's the hope. That's what gave me hope. Like, shit, he could get somebody? Well, fuck. Yeah, I can't run across the country. Maybe I don't own a fucking boat and I can't play ping pong. Maybe I never met Elvis. But, I mean, maybe I'm as dumb as him. Who knows? I can find love.
True.
Oh God!
I'm not laughing at the idea of you finding love. I'm laughing at the idea of Forrest Gump as the role model for that.
Right. Yep. And then as soon as fucking World War III's fucking over, all of a sudden now we're fucking being attacked by some illness due to fucking Mexican beer.
What? Mexican beer?
I'm assuming that's what the coronavirus is.
Oh.
Damn it, Joe. I was hoping you catch the joke.
You got me. Oh, my goodness. That flew right past me. I totally missed it.
It's not your fault, Joe. We haven't been together in 6 weeks. I don't blame you.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That Bravo. Hats off.
But there's another fucking illness that's just wiping out the country, and people are like, where the fuck this come from?
Right? Well, no, like, the other thing about it is, like, there's been like, what, 4 cases or something? I don't even know. I'm making it up. But I feel like it's not really a dangerous level yet, like bird flu was, or swine flu, or anything like that.
It's not. I mean, I think I just saw something on Facebook where people were like, urgent, emergency, 1 dead in BC due to, coronavirus. I'm like, that's 1 fucking person in Canada that died, and now this is an urgent epidemic that we have to calm down on. It's like, I'm pretty sure while that fucking Canadian was dying from it, they're like, hey, it's okay. Because they're fucking Canadian.
Right? Also, like, look, cannabis is legal in a lot of places now. Mm-hmm. And even in the places where it's not legal, it's pretty well decriminalized. Take a chill pill. Take a minute. Just, you know what? Have CBD. CBD's legal. Have some CBD, relax. You're not gonna die of coronavirus today.
Yeah. Let me talk to you about the legalization of marijuana here real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I heard a couple people already bitching about it. So apparently the price of marijuana is exceedingly higher than it is when you buy it from a high school kid.
Yep.
Do you think people are bitching too much about this?
I think they might be.
Like,
I'm kind of torn because, like, I don't know. It seems like a great opportunity for the high school kid to make some money,
right?
and really undercut the dispensaries,
right? It's like I was sitting there talking to a buddy, a guy I know, and I won't call him really a buddy. He's just somebody I know from the bars and stuff uptown. And disclaimer to everyone: I don't smoke pot. I don't use drugs in any type of way. It's not that I couldn't. It's just I just choose not to. It's just my preference, and I don't judge anyone who does it. Your life, again, like I said, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It's not my life. It's your guys' life. You do what you want to do, smoke pot, do whatever you want. But the thing is like I sit there and I was talking to the guy, and he was bitching to me about how, like, well, fucking, I'm not going to buy pot at Coke prices and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I get it.
Sorry,
right?
That is an amazing sentence.
Right? Yeah. Well, apparently this guy thought so too because he said it 4 times in a row because he didn't think I heard the first 3.
Okay, it's not that amazing, but still.
No, to him, trust me, to him, it's the greatest fucking thing in the world because like he got a chuckle out of it, so he's like, yeah, I just want to say it one more time. But I mean, and he's not wrong. I have heard that the price of cannabis and stuff that's selling in Illinois is pretty fucking
insane.
high.
I heard that. We talked about it on Geekcast Live last week a little bit. Yeah. So I decided to look, and it's a lot. I don't have a good frame of reference, but like, I don't have the kind of money to do this recreationally at all.
Yeah, no, and I don't either. Like, I've never bought drugs before in my life. I smoked pot once in my life, and that was 12 years ago. I know how inflation works. So
that's well said.
I'm saying, I was talking to the guy, and I think I actually posted this up on Facebook. It was actually a comment to somebody else posted, because I don't post political stuff on my Facebook. Mainly for the reason I'm going to discuss right now. The one time I ever post anything that seems political or anything towards government in any kind of way, I get chewed out by somebody I know. And somebody posted something about how people are still purchasing drugs illegally because of the high cost of drugs now. And I just commented, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, because when shit doesn't go the way people want to, when things don't go the way people bitch and moan about, they go back to the old ways that's, more cost effective or some shit like that. I think you can say, you may have seen it. I know I posted it.
I don't think I have, but I understand the sentiment, and I agree with it for the most part.
Yeah, so a friend of mine responded back to me and is like, I don't get what you're saying. Like, why are people bitching and moaning to make drugs illegal again? I'm like, that's not exactly what I said. I found out later after I reread it. I'm like, oh, I should have put a comma right here. And that would have completely changed, because the way I read it is the way I interpreted it. And clearly, if I'm like, okay, let me look at it from her point of view, reading it from her point of view, okay, now you see where she may have got the words mixed up. If I would just put a comma, it would have solved all the problems. I'm like, now I gotta sit here and defend myself, because I don't want to feel like I'm being an asshole in any type of way.
Right.
Because that's on me. And I have no problem doing that. I'm not gonna have an argument on fucking Facebook on somebody else's Facebook status even to begin with. But It's just one of those things, like, and I tried telling the guy who told me, he's like, you know, I'm not buying pot for coke prices. I told him the same thing. I'm like, listen, it's no different when it comes to fucking firearms or anything else like that. If people want to pay a certain price, they're going to get it legally or illegally.
Right.
You know, and I think the whole thing, like, when they legalized this, they said they had a set amount of money that they're going to make from drug prices. They just never mentioned how much those drug prices were going to be.
Right. Absolutely.
So they got people got what they wanted. And, you know, hey, you know, congrats to you guys. You fought hard to get pot legalized in Illinois. Or marijuana or what, cannabis, however you want to interpret it. Because I know CBD oil?
Yeah.
It has, what the fuck's in it that makes it pot? There's something in it.
Well, it's
THC, right?
No, CBD oil is one of the oils that is produced in cannabis, in pot. The plant produces it. It also produces THC. It produces both of those things. THC is what makes you high. CBD is what relaxes you.
Okay, so the THC, like, I'm assuming that was the big thing that needed to be legalized. Because I think CBD oil has been around a lot, but it's not considered a drug. It's that THC part of it that shows up on drug tests and all that other shit, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, congrats to them again for getting that legalized because they wanted it and they finally got it, you know. It's just one of the things, like, you just really didn't know what the fucking prices were when they were releasing it. You know, and it's like, people can't be too picky about shit. It's like, we lived in a fucking state where everything is overpriced and expensive to even begin with. It's like, Joe, you live in fucking, not Chicago itself, but near Chicago.
Oh, I live in the actual city now. But yeah.
You live in the actual city. Okay, you rent an apartment, I own a house, and our monthly cost isn't that different.
Nope.
And people don't sit there and, you know, don't want to sit there and realize it. It's like, well, what the fuck? I gotta live in Chicago and I gotta pay $1,000 a month for a studio apartment right by Lakeshore Drive? And it's like, that's all you fucking paid for? Blows my fucking mind. Right? That blows my fucking mind if I hear somebody say, that's all you paid for. Because I think I don't know if my mom's boss or somebody like that, like, has like I don't want to call it a summer home, but some place right there by Lakeshore. I think it's like a 2-bedroom apartment or some shit. They call it a condo. It's a fucking apartment. I know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like $3,500 a month.
Oh yeah. That sounds about right.
And it blows my fucking mind. People are like, you know, fucking the cost of living is so fucking expensive. I'm like, well, yeah, but listen to what you want to get. Like, watch fucking, the HGTV or whatever fucking channels had those, like, listed or flip it or something like that. It's like,
love it or list it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we sit there and you have a couple that's like, well, I want this, 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 but I want it for $350,000.
Right.
And then they bring you to a house like, hey, look, this is everything you want. They're like, it's so beautiful. Yeah. It's $5 million fucking dollars.
Right.
It's like, you gotta pick your fucking battles on what you want to spend money on.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And I know, and I can't speak, for your wife, but I'm assuming for you, if you could live down here more, you probably would. But.
Probably. Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying from like more.
I would absolutely love to have like more space, more land, be able to, the amount of money I'm paying a month for rent, if I rented a place closer to Peatone, I could have like a whole house for that price.
Yeah. I assume that you guys live up there because it's more cost effective in travel time to get to your guys' work.
Exactly. We're both 20 minutes from work.
Right? You seem like the kind of person that one day wants to sit on a porch when you read your book.
Absolutely.
So really, right? It's just one of those things, like, you wouldn't mind sitting out on the porch, reading the fucking book, drinking, maybe some nice bourbon out of a fucking, crowler or whatever the fuck you want to call it, without the fear of somebody running down the street and maybe shooting at you.
No, I'm not as worried about that, but yeah.
Right? And the only time that shit happens down here is if it's on the fucking highway from people driving from Shabbat to Chicago, like it happened back in like 2007 and shit like that.
Oh jeez, I don't remember that at all.
It's a mess on the highway. But that's the biggest problem when people sit there and like they talk about like, you don't know what the cost of living like up here because I gotta pay for this, I gotta pay for that. I'm like, I own a fucking house. Like, I get what the cost of fucking living is.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those goofy fucking things. But anyways, congrats for the fucking pot, but for God forbid, like, the price ain't gonna fucking change. It's not like it's gonna be like, oh no, you don't like the cost of pot? Okay, let's cut it in fucking half and see what happens.
Well, and you also gotta realize, like, the state is trying to balance its budget off of this and video poker.
Yeah.
Like, of course it's going to be way more expensive than the high school kid because half of the cost is taxes.
Yeah.
You know, which like that's the price. I'm sorry that that's the price, but like that's what they've decided it's worth because they need to be able to pay, you know, for the number of governors we've got in jail. You know,
right? Now,
this is Illinois. If we were in a reasonable state that had cannabis, like Michigan, I don't think they've had any problems yet.
No. Other than Flint, how's Flint doing?
Oh yeah, they're in bad shape.
Right?
They could use recreational weed money. But look at Colorado. They actually gave a tax rebate off of the amount of weed they sold.
Yeah, well, it's probably not cost as much as it is out here in Illinois.
Right. Well, they don't have like 6 governors in jail.
Right.
I do. And the Martha Stewart suites at the prisons.
I want to look, and maybe I'll look at that later when we get off the show here because I'm kind of interested in it. Is I want to know if there's a chart that shows pot cost across the legalized states. I'm going to assume California is ridiculous too.
Oh, no doubt.
Like it has to be.
Yeah.
But you live in what's considered Cook County, right?
Yep.
Okay. I heard that vehicle registrations have gone up in Cook County. Is that true?
I don't know yet because I haven't had to pay it yet this year.
Yeah, because I got mine because mine's due at the end of February, and mine's still about $100 and something because I drive the pickup truck. But somebody told me like in like Cook County now, like it could be up to like $500 and something bucks.
I think it depends, but it could. I think that sounds right, but I don't think it would affect us.
It's more like inner city, like by like fucking like downtown.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it could be part of it.
Yeah. Well, their biggest reason is kind of limit the amount of vehicles in the city, correct?
Right, exactly. Yeah, the Chicago city sticker is like $250 now or something. I think. I could be wrong. Please don't take me with a grain of salt because I really don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up right now because I'm curious about it, but.
Gotcha. Why don't you tell me about your Carolina trip? How'd that go?
Oh, it was good. It was good. We got up way earlier than we needed to, and got to the airport by like 5:30 in the morning on Thursday. And we took off at like 8 o'clock, I think. Maybe it was 8:30. That sounds more right. It was a nice flight. We got to sit wherever we wanted because there was nobody on it. It was good. It was a good trip. It was beautiful when we landed. It was an easy drive down to Jacksonville. Took us like no time to load up the truck. And then we just kind of hauled ass back. And it was, honestly, it was a very pleasant drive. For the most part.
Yeah, cause, you flew down on a Thursday and you got back into Illinois on Saturday.
Yeah, really late Friday night, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So it was good. We ate at Buffalo Wild Wings because that's, I guess, what you do.
Yeah, you gotta get them rewards.
Gotta get the
rewards.
Gotta check off the box, And then we stopped at a place in what was the name of that city? It was such a silly little town name, but I loved it.
It was one in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it was in Ohio. Like, I can't remember.
Was it Turduncan, Ohio?
No, but it's almost.
Might as well be.
Yeah, absolutely might as well be. Where is it? I know it's here. Sorry, I texted my wife about it as we drove through.
Chillicothe?
Yes, Chillicothe. Yeah, we stopped at the Cozy Inn, which, like, first of all, if you're ever in Chillicothe, go ahead and eat at the Cozy Inn. It's a pretty nice bar. I mean, it is a dumpster fire of a bar in terms of the building, but like the food was good. The people there were nice. I think, Stephanie, the bartender, thank you for your, you did a good job. We enjoyed your banter. It was good. It was nice. They had a good potato soup. They had a great burger. They had an even better bologna sandwich. Unbelievably. That's what, my dad had the bologna sandwich. If you ever get a chance to eat at the Cozy Inn, I recommend the bologna sandwich. It's one slice of bologna that's like half an inch thick with whatever you want on it, and between 2 pieces of bread. It's great.
Is it fried? Is the bologna fried?
Yep, fried bologna. Yep.
Nice.
So get that. Get the just have a cup of soup though with it. Don't have a whole bowl of soup because it's too much food.
Gotcha. Now we really, we didn't celebrate New Year's Eve together, but neither one of us really did anything, right?
No, we went to bed early, I think.
Yeah. I think I was laying down on my couch around 8 o'clock calling it a fucking night already.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame because I've had a New Year's Eve party at my house ever since I moved in here.
That's true.
And I don't know what it is. I don't want to blame it on because I mean, everyone should know. I mean, I think the last time we recorded, I talked about losing my job, and that's still the case today. So it's nothing to do with that. It's just weird how like everything I kind of panned out for everybody already having plans and shit like that. But your Christmas was good?
It was all like 6 of them. It seemed like we had. Well, cause both Maddie and I have divorced and remarried families, and so.
Yeah.
It was 4. I think 4 there, and then, 1 with Grandma D. Some of my, separate from everybody else. So, but they were nice. They were all nice. We got some nice stuff. I got a couple of great new bow ties. Got a lot of good books. What else did I get? We got a lot of cast iron, which was cool. We didn't expect that, and it's great. So.
How do you like cooking with it?
I love cooking with cast iron. Not as many things as I've had to sort of relearn how to use it because growing up, we ate a lot of meat and cast iron's great for that. Trying to figure out how to cook vegetable dishes in it has been a challenge just because I like tomatoes a lot and you're not really supposed to put tomatoes in cast iron.
Because the acid, right?
Yeah. So, and I guess it's not that big of a deal as long as it's not there for a really long time and if you clean it right away, but still.
Well, the important thing is that coating on it.
Right.
Yeah. My dad bought me a cast iron skillet and I've had it for 2 years, never once used it. And I really should. It's hard for me to fucking cook in my house because my fucking smoke alarm is so damn sensitive.
Yeah, we took the battery out of the one by the kitchen.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I do every time I cook. Like, even if I'm fucking just making an omelet and shit like that, like, just enough fucking smoke, it'll just set it off. But I really gotta do it. It's just like, it sucks because I guess the biggest thing, and I tell everybody, even like girls I fucking date, just in general, is like, I love cooking, I just hate doing fucking dishes. Like, if I had a dishwasher, I would fucking cook all the fucking time. But I just can't seem to find a girlfriend. So.
Huh. That's good. It took me a second there too.
Guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you check out tpublic.com. Search TFS. TFS is for This Freakin' Show. It's where all the merchandise for our podcast is located as we share that storefront with JFW. But you could get your very own This Freakin' Show t-shirt or even your own Cartoon Joe t-shirt. A little animated picture of Joe right there, nestled in your bosom on your own t-shirt. But it's not even t-shirt, guys. It's sweatshirts, baby onesies, phone cases, pillowcases, posters, tapestries, buttons, pins, magnets, so many different things. Just go to tpublic.com, search TFS, buy some merchandise because every sale from that store does help with the podcast in its own special way. Let us know when you do. Yeah, let us know when you buy some merchandise. Send us a picture of it and we'll put it up on our social media so let everyone know how awesome you look in your This Freakin' Show merchandise. And make sure you do follow us on social media at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at This Freakin' Show. All right, Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
Ooh, what am I freaking thinking about? I took advantage of some PlayStation sales. Oh, and I picked up just a random game was on sale for like less than $4. Mm-hmm. It's called Jotun, Jotun. Okay. And it's all about Norse mythology. And I played the ever-loving crap out of it yesterday. I still haven't beat it. I'm very close to the end. It's a short game, but it was absolutely worth what I paid for it. And I've gotten probably as much enjoyment out of it as you could get. It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. I'm also looking forward to, I picked up a game called Necropolis. Which I've been wanting to play for a long time. It's produced by Harebrained Schemes, which is a friend of my other podcast. Shout out to Mitch Gittleman, whose birthday was yesterday, by the way. He's the CEO and one of the co-founders of Harebrained Schemes. I've wanted to play it for a long time. I assume it's a great game. I haven't played it yet, but I'll let you know next week if it's any good. So.
Gotcha.
What about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
Well, I'm job hunting, trying to find a full-time job. Knock on wood. I'm hoping to hear something this week on a potential interview. But since I'm staying at home and not really doing much, I'm doing like little things here and there around the house. I really want to work on the garage and kind of get that reorganized and stuff like that. It's just been way too cold to pull shit out. But during my free time, I've really been binging the shit out of fucking Netflix. The final season of The Ranch came out, so I finished up watching that.
How has The Ranch been? I don't think I've watched it since, what's his name was let go.
Rooster?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how like in like some of the episodes, like everything seems to be going really well until, Colt fucks up and everything goes to shit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the show.
Oh, okay.
Remainder, like everything seems to pick up, and then Colt fucks up, pick up, Colt fucks up. It's just how the show fucking works.
Gotcha.
The ending, completely predictable and very, lackluster. Very anticlimactic, ending, for a show. But overall, it's a great show. It's a show made for people like me who love country stuff and humor, use vulgar language and shit like that. It's a very good show. If you haven't watched it, if you are watching it, watch it till the end and just realize that the ending could have been something different, but it is what it is. I caught up on the newest season of Fuller House and I'm currently watching through, NCIS. So I'm just binging the shit out of that. It's so fucking boring just sitting at home. Like, I wish there was more to fucking do. And it's one of the things like, it's one of the things like, I wish I could go out and do some more shit, but apparently stuff costs money.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? And when you don't
you can't even sit around and smoke weed.
Exactly. Cause eventually somebody's gonna be like, hey, you wanna come in for an interview and take a drug test? Yeah, can we wait like a month? Yeah. So it's one of the things like where like, I know eventually a job's going to come around. It's just really finding the focus to do that. And I'm hoping like maybe in the meantime, while I do have some, time off until I find a new job, is we can start really focusing on this Freakin' Studio stuff. Cause I got a few ideas for some things we can do. It's just getting everyone together and collaborating on those ideas.
For sure.
Yeah. To paraphrase what, Sarge said, when we get off our asses and do some stuff, it'll be a lot better. Yeah. So, hey Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners could catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show as we kick off this 2020 with some awesome guests coming up and some awesome banter between you and I. But clearly it's only an hour a week that they get Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. And I know an hour a week of Cartoon Joe is just not enough. So if our fans need more Cartoon Joe, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect. Guys, make sure you catch our show every single week on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and Stitcher just by searching this freaking show. And fun fact that I found out, if you have a fucking Alexa, a little dot, and you go to Alexa and say, Alexa, play this freaking show, it will play the most recent uploaded show.
Dope! That's awesome.
Yeah. I tried it one day just for the hell of it, and it fucking worked. So if you have an Alexa and you're laying there in bed and you want to fall asleep to the quote-unquote docile tones of Cartoon Joe's voice, now you can do that.
Tremendous.
So, yeah, let your friends know about the podcast. Let them know where they can find us on social media and through all the podcasting platforms. A special thanks to Audible.com for being a sponsor of the show. Again, go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today. Sign up for the 30-day free trial. Every subscription does help out the podcast, as well as going to TeePublic, TeePublic.com. Search TFS and buy some merchandise. That's all I got. So as always, I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of this freaking show. I'm out.